Hello preppers! We are going to make one more recipe to help keep rodents out of our stockpiles. This is the mothball recipe. Now I've used this successfully multiple times, but I've never actually made it myself. So we're going to be learning together. Just got a cheap brand of mothballs at the store. So there's quite a few in here. You're supposed to use a half a cup, and I would imagine this bag is probably closer to a full cup. Let's see, well, no, it says 8 ounces. And it's a bag within a bag, because you're not supposed to have direct skin contact with the mothballs. If I had planned ahead, I would have grabbed some gloves to put on here. I'm going to open the outer bag. Oh, wow, do these things stink. It's been a long time since I smelled mothballs in my grandma's closet. I'm going to leave them in their breathable bag. Let me try to move here a bit. I think I adjusted wrong. Make sure you can see. And I'm going to take this wood spatula. You could use your mortar and pestle, rubber mallet. If you've got a meat tenderizer, type of wooden kitchen tool thing, whatever you have. They're not super hard to break. And I'm getting some on my counter. Not a good idea because I don't want them to get in the animal's mouth. So I'm going to adjust here. Whoa, they really stink. I have the door open and some windows open because directly inhaling them is also not recommended for an extended period of time. I'm going to go ahead and break some more of these up. Yet they are still flying everywhere. I'd say in hindsight I would do this outside, but not with our livestock that all free ranges. Ooh, they stink worse when you pound them up, guys. I'm hoping I've got enough to at least show and try this recipe. Let's check the warnings on here again. All kinds of first aid warnings. They stink. They stink a lot, and anybody's ever used mothballs, gone to a yard sale and bought something that had mothballs in it in an estate sale, they hold their scent for a very long time, which makes them great for protecting our preps and making it something you don't have to check on or do once, twice, 2, 3 times a week. So I want to get a rag, and I'm going to try to scoop these that are on my kitchen counter right now into my squirt bottle, and hopefully you can see how small these are that I'm scooping up. That's what you need. I would not put them in your blender unless you picked up a cheap one and you're going to keep it just for this type of purpose, because it would take a lot of disinfecting to get it clean again. That has a little bit in there. I have more here, residue on this little sack. You'll be able to see it here in a second. So I'm going to use the sack and put it kind of in a funnel shape. Whew. I cannot even explain how much this stinks. If any of you grew up at a time and had a driveway where your dad or perhaps even your mom went out and blacktopped it every year, that is what this smells like to me when they are all scrunched up like fresh blacktop. I gotta wash a little bit off my hands here. It does not have a pleasant aroma. I think, since I don't have gloves and the smell is a bit overwhelming, I'm going to reduce the amount in the recipe and just make a little bit, and I'll reduce down. That's probably what I have in there now, 2 tablespoons. And it's not hard to pound up, but there's no reason for you to listen to me pounding incessantly for another several minutes. I do know now next time I'll get a cheap plastic bowl from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put these down in the bowl, and I will pound them in there so I don't have residue everywhere to clean up. And I will open up a few more windows, and I think I will put gloves on because they do sting a bit when they get on your hands, and the smell it's horribly overwhelming. So good thing for our project, but not a good thing while you're making it. If you have any type of a respiratory issue or bronchitis, or you're just sick or whatever, this might be a time when you want to wait to do this or have somebody help you, and put on a little bit of one of those doctor masks that you can wear because it's potent. Okay, so I'm going to put in my 2 drops each of the oil. I put in my drop of the rubbing, or of the Blue Dawn rather. Blue Dawn's what's recommended. I always see that recommended in any recipe for dealing with weed issues, herbicides, or any kind of home remedy disinfectant. People always recommend Blue Dawn. It's what I personally use. Wow, the smell of this, them even being out this close and crunched up, is almost a little too much. And I'm going to put in my rubbing alcohol. I'm not measuring, I'm kind of just eyeballing it. This helps the scent last longer. And then you simply fill the rest of your little spray bottle here. And to give you an idea on the size of spray bottle I'm using, this is a regular size Blue Dawn. Let's scooch it out here so you can see it a little easier. That's a regular size Blue Dawn, and it's just a small Dollar Tree squirt bottle. I'm going to fill the rest of it up with water. And it gets bubbly and foamy from the Blue Dawn that's in it. Almost looks like a milk here on the camera, but it's not quite that dense of a bubble in person. I am moving those mothballs like out from underneath of my nose. This might be the most successful rodent keeper way ever. When I've gotten this from friends who've made it, but it's already been in the bottle, or they've crunched them up in a little sachet similar to one of the other recipes in the article. So it's not the overwhelming scent of having that many together right next to your nose. But of course, a mouse or any other animal creature has a better sense of smell than we do, so it's going to be even worse for them. This is not something that I would want to spray around food in my pantry. In our pantry we keep not only just the food that we are stockpiling, eating daily, but stockpiled food and rotate in and out. Maybe on the floor in the corners, that would be a great idea, but directly around your food because of the toxic nature of the mothballs. I don't recommend doing that. You can squirt around the entryways to your house, to your garages, to your basements, anywhere that you're storing your preps. You can squirt them on top of the storage tubs. And it is strong, and hopefully it's going to work as good making it myself as it always has when I've received this from a fellow homesteading prepper friend. But it is very strong smell, and something you do want to consider. Perhaps there's somebody in your house, they do have some type of a respiratory issue, or an infant. I'm not going to spray this and let any animals around it until it dries a little bit. I don't want them to get into it and lick it. They'll be deterred by the smell just simply because it stinks. But they might go to investigate and get some on their tongue or nose. So when you squirt it, make sure there aren't any animals around at least for an hour or so afterwards. This should hold its smell, in my experience, for about 2 weeks. You could also just sprinkle mothballs around. And they will, hold their smell for a very, very long time, just like they will in closets, and eventually need replaced. And an upside, if you have any mice decide to chew on the mothballs, it's going to kill them anyway. But my husband picked this up for me at the store. I think they were only a couple dollars. It's very inexpensive to make. It's quick and simple to make, even with the pounding the mothballs had I continued. But it is messy. It is stinky. You do want to do it in a well-ventilated room. But you can even squirt this on some cheesecloth or a scrap piece of fabric and hang it, to keep in mosquitoes or wasps or anything else. It's not really going to destroy your preps. But you don't generally want them in the area where you're storing things and working, because you don't want stung or your blood sucked. So that will also keep them away. It's very, very strong, and it does work very well. You can mix a spray up and squirt around things, get into little nooks and crannies and areas, and right onto your containers as immediate deterrent. And you can also just take the mothballs and toss them around. But you do need to remember, if you go into the storage areas with the mothballs when you have animals or young children, to be very mindful if they don't get a hold of them and ingest them.